All right, here we go. The NBA has a steroid problem. Oh boy, who would have thought? I never would have guessed.
Insane news on the fake natty front. There are SARM goblins in the NBA.
Oh my god. Storm goblins.
That's right, Cleveland Cavaliers forward and center Tristan Thompson was suspended without pay for 25 games after testing
Dang.
positive for a pair of performance enhancing substances, the NBA announced on Tuesday. The league said Thompson
Dang. That boy got for 25 games, no pay. Jeez.
tested positive for SARM LGD 4033,
Oh,
also known
Jesus.
as Ligandrol, and ibutamorin, both listed on the World Anti-Doping Agency's ban list, or
Oh, there it is. Oh man, it's not like, to be fair, it's not like whenever you go into like a sport or something that you just, oh, I kind of want to do steroids, so maybe I should check the long the long list of what was it, WADA? Yeah, the World Anti Doping Agency banned list. It's not like you go check the WADA list and you go, okay, I can't take that, can't take that, can't take that. It's like people don't do that if they want to take steroids. They're just like, more often than not, it's like they're probably just like, hey, you got anything good that'll actually work? And then their boy will go, yeah, sure, let me hook you up. And then like, I mean, it's like steroids for basketball. I mean, I get it, but I think I would probably put basketball at, like, a little bit more in the technical side of things versus like, I don't know, something like football, where, I mean, yes, there's obviously like technique in football, but if you want to go, like, football is, I would say, a more contact driven sport where like NBA is, there is some contact, but it's not like, and yeah, you have to like run from one side of the court to the other. So obviously, like, if you got like a fast runner or fast dribbler or whatever in basketball, like, how much does steroids actually help you as an NBA player? Yes, it'll help you in the gym and whatnot, but how much does it actually help you, like, during like the actual basketball game? I mean, I'll buy it in that it'll probably help you like recover quicker and things like that, but like, I don't know. I think the NBA is just like way more technical than I don't know. I don't know.
WADA. SARMs, short for selective androgen receptor modulators, are classified as non-steroidal anabolic agents, while ibutamorin is described as a mimetic of a growth hormone secretagogue. That is my new favorite word, by the way. Secretagogue. The substances have been associated with muscle growth and bone density. So let's break this down. Imagine
Like, steroids, I mean, there's a long list of steroids that do a bunch of different things, but I think the more technical your hobby, the more I think stims would help you. Stuff that helps you like focus more than steroids. Like, steroids can obviously like help you, but like how much? Like, if I take like some high level like NBA player and another high level NBA player, I give this guy steroids, but I give this guy like stims for like to like focus and shit. Like, who's gonna gain like more benefit? I mean, that would be my question.
my surprise when the NBA starts cracking down on not steroids, but SARMs. If you have never heard of the term SARM before, or selective androgen receptor modulators, the
Mm-hmm.
simplest and easiest way I could describe it is with the Pokemon Ditto. You see, Ditto mimics or takes on the form of any Pokemon that it comes into contact with.
Yeah.
SARMs are essentially the Ditto of steroids.
All right.
Technically speaking, they're not steroids.
Right.
Because
Technically.
their structure is different. But the outcome,
But it doesn't matter whether or not it's a steroid or not, because as long as it's on the WADA banned list, it's banned. Period.
is very much the same. SARMs have been around for a couple of decades, but at first they were steroidal. In the early 2000s, however, they figured out how to make them non-steroidal. But that doesn't mean they're not anabolic or conducive to muscle growth. They do the same thing as steroids on paper, depending on which compound you take, but they are not classified as steroids.
Okay.
SARMs are experimental drugs that were developed to mimic anabolic androgenic steroids without the side effects. There's just one problem. You can't do that. It's pretty safe to say that whenever you drastically alter the chemistry of your body, there's always going to be a trade-off. In a perfect world, SARMs would be applied to the medical field. For example, old women are prone to breaking their hips, and they are rather weak and feeble.
True.
So a SARM, or a selective androgen receptor modulator, would be in the conversation to use to treat that sort of recovery, or prevent it from happening in the first place. But in reality, they are being abused by 17-year-olds at your local gym, and apparently professional athletes. And that's because they work. They are very effective. We're talking all sorts of performance-enhancing benefits depending on which compound you take, but mainly strength, improved lean body mass, quicker recovery times from injuries. SARMs are not FDA approved, which doesn't really mean much considering the fact that supplements don't have to be, but they exist in this weird gray area where they can be sold on the internet for research purposes, not human consumption. And it goes with
they're just, all the NBA players are doing research. They're in the research phase, so you can't pop them. All right, so there's the saving grace right there. Like, this whole thing, like, I've been like a casual of just like sports and shit. Like, I don't really watch NBA. I don't really watch any sports, to be honest, but I'll like watch it a little bit and see like the players like stumble on the ground, fake a foul, and then it's like, oh, you're an idiot, get out of here. I'm like a giga casual sports enjoyer, if anything. But the whole thing with like the WADA ban list of drugs and whatnot, like obviously in an ideal world, everybody would be a natural, like a natural athlete, and then the world would be all like happy with rainbows and sparkles and whatnot. But that's not the world we live in. So people are going to do anything that they can to try to get an edge up when it comes to competition, for the most part. And just because someone doesn't get popped for any of the WADA ban list drugs doesn't mean that they could still also be using some form of PEDs. So anytime I ask like somebody like about sports and whatnot, they will always say like, oh, what do you think about like steroids and shit in sports? And it's like, it's either one of two things. It'll be like, yeah, I wish steroids and like PED should be banned, and obviously all that shit. Or there's like the polar opposite side where they'll be like, yeah, I want a fucking sports league to where every athlete can do all the steroids and shit. And it's like, yeah, that'd be hilarious to watch, but like that'll probably never happen. But the like, what was it? Like I saw this Netflix documentary about what was it, like and it was called like Icarus, and it was about some Olympic event that happened a while ago, and it was about the corruption of WADA and a bunch of countries trying to sway the, what was it, like the head lab techs or whatever in WADA to make it be like, oh, you're gonna have my athletes blood drawn and tested for steroids, but I'll pay you like some amount of money to just not do it. And the head lab techs or whatever are the guys that are running the tests. So their what do you call it? Their word is pretty much like going to be the end all be all of like whether or not that athlete is taking steroids or not. So there's so many like fail points when it comes to trying to figure out if an athlete is taking drugs or they're not taking drugs. who's trying to intervene, who's trying to buy somebody off, and so on and so forth. Like obviously, like, oh, this athlete is really good. We're gonna drug test him. Oh, he passed the drug test. He can't possibly be taking any PEDs. Well, that's actually wrong because there are a lot of PEDs where the test that is being used doesn't detect certain PEDs. So while they may not be like popped for anything on the list, they could be having some other PED that is not yet on the list. But because the just simply the drug isn't there, it's like, oh, they passed the test, but they're still taking PEDs because they passed our test.
Without saying that since these are performance-enhancing drugs, they are largely banned by WADA or the World Anti-Doping Agency. They are not illegal to possess, but they are not cleared for human consumption. Research purposes only. But what do you think people do with these things? Why somebody would use a SARM over a steroid depends on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Meaning SARMs are more selective with what they bind to, meaning you can target individual tissues and get a desired outcome.
That's
as
crazy.
opposed to steroids, which can have a more broad stroke reaction in your body. Remember, SARMs are selective, but that doesn't mean they're without side effects. So why don't we break down what Tristan Thompson was taking that got him banned?
Oh.
In this case, LGD 4033 or Ligandrol. Ligandrol is a very potent SARM. It has a high level of selectivity, and it was developed in 2009 by Ligand Pharmaceuticals. It was tested for medical use in 2013, and a company called Viking Therapeutics got the license for it, which is why it is sometimes referred to as VK5211. So what does this thing actually do? Well, it gives you more muscle and strength, and as a result of that, it'll probably burn some fat too, because when you get more muscle on your frame, your metabolic rate goes up because muscle is an active tissue. Some of the side effects include...
Yeah, but then when you put that onto like NBA, about the only thing that I can reason it for is like you can like run maybe a little bit faster, but when you're talking about the NBA, you're already talking about the top 1/10 of 1% of players, and like a lot of the players are like super tall anyway, so like I don't really see a lot of players like getting that many strides ahead of like somebody else or whatever. Like maybe they can like pass the ball like a little bit quicker or like run a little bit quicker. Yeah, I would say like jumping a little bit higher, but like come on.
dry mouth and headaches, but whenever you're talking about a SARM, what a lot of people like to overlook is the suppression aspect, which means your testosterone is going to get nuked. According to anecdotal accounts from bodybuilders and people who have used this stuff, it is similar to Deca or Nandrolone. Nandrolone is a synthetic version of testosterone, and LGD 4033 or VK5211 is a mimic of that. Remember, not actually, it just functions very similarly. Apparently, some people take testosterone as a base because you are going to get that suppression from the SARM, but again, I've never taken steroids. That's just what the people say. Now, ibutamoren goes by the name MK677, and it's pretty interesting because it is not...
Bro, we talk about like Mortal Kombat and shit?
Actually a SARM, but rather a growth hormone secretagogue, which means this thing makes your body secrete growth hormone. Growth hormone is extremely popular in all professional sports because of its...
Isn't that the thing that like makes your face grow? And you get like the head chunks, and then you get like the jowls and shit?
recovery properties. It is kind of like a failsafe. Listen, you can signal all the growth hormone you want, but that will pale in comparison to the quality of sleep you'll get on a Helix mattress, which is why today's video is sponsored by Helix.
Good segue.
Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding, customized to fit your needs, conveniently shipped in a box right to your doorstep. You don't even have to leave your house. Everybody's different, and Helix knows that. That's why they designed a sleep quiz that helps match your unique body type with your preferred sleeping preferences. This way, you can find the perfect mattress for you. If you sleep with a partner or even a pet, you can take the quiz together so you can find the best compromise for everyone. I like to sleep on my side and stomach, and I prefer a medium mattress feel. which is why I was matched with the Midnight Lux. This year, Helix released their newest and most high-end collection, the Helix Elite mattress. They put their years of extensive mattress expertise to use to create a truly elevated sleep experience.
Oh shit.
I've had my Helix for almost 3 years now, and ever since I moved, I had to upgrade from a queen to a king. That's how much I love my Helix. Unlike other brands, Helix doesn't use fiberglass in their mattresses,
Oh
which
shit.
can be harmful to
Do I
your
got
health.
fiberglass in
fact,
mine?
Helix owns their own manufacturing
Shit.
facility, so they
I
stay
might have to
clear
get
from
this.
any sort of fiberglass. And I sleep easy knowing that they don't use it. The mattress comes rolled in a box, and it's super easy to set up for yourself. It took me just under 5 minutes to carry it up the stairs and watch my new bed spring to life. If it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried yet in person, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial. This gives you a little bit over 3 months to completely fall in love with your new mattress. Plus, every Helix comes with a 10-year warranty. They offer flexible payment plans and even have financing options available, so a great night's sleep is never that far away. I love my Helix, and I think you would too. If you're in the need for a new bed, check out Helix. You can click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/Philion to get 20% off your Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows. And
bro, I think I need to get a new bed.
Sponsoring this video.
I've had this thing for like way too long.
On for a second and go out on a limb and say that most professional athletes are fucking around with growth hormone compounds. Why would they do this? Well, it's overpowered. When you think about professional sports, what are they doing? They're getting paid millions of dollars a week to play at the highest level possible. What is required for that? Adequate recovery more than anything. Because, yeah, you could be the most skilled person in the world at your sport, but can you recover fast enough for Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday's games? I don't think so. When you think about all the top athletes in professional sports, they're either walking mountains of muscle or they have very specific movement patterns that over time will break down in your body like pitching in baseball. So, what is the most important thing here? Well, it's making sure the athletes don't explode, die, break down, what have you, okay? They need to stay in tip-top shape and operate at the top level for long periods of time. How do you do that? Growth hormone. It's crazy to me that everybody collectively just, shuts off their brain and doesn't think for a second that all the top-level athletes, 250-pound hulking men crashing into each other or having 40-inch verticals slamming down on hard wood over time can just do that forever without drugs.
Damn. Yeah, the first one was like a football example. The second one was like a basketball example, and like, yeah, but I don't know. I was gonna say something, but yes, they're probably like all the like. My question would be like, if you join the NBA. Like, how far along into like your career do they start asking you, hey, do you want to get on some GH, man? Is it like a requirement, or do you just like ask your teammates or some shit? Like, how does that happen?
No, they're on juice. Now, MK677, since it's not a SARM, does not cause testosterone suppression, but it does still have side effects. Ibutamorin is a ghrelin agonist. Ghrelin is the hormone that is secreted to signal to your stomach that you are hungry. It's your appetite. So what this does is it makes you fucking hungry, which can sometimes be actually a good thing if you're a professional athlete.
So wait, it mimics GH and also makes you hungry. So whenever you think you're growing, are you growing because of the ditto GH, or just because you just eat a little bit more? You're like, oh, instead of 4 meals today, I had 5 big ass meals and maybe like an extra snack or 2 because of all this extra ghrelin and shit. It's like, is it like a that's so funny. If somebody made like a SARM that did that, like it okay, man, it mimics GH and you'll get heavier, but it's 100% all muscle, and also it'll make you hungrier. Like, if that is not like a scam, then I don't know what is, dude.
And you need to maintain a certain size for your respective sport. Quote, the Cleveland Cavaliers fully support the NBA anti-drug program, and we are disappointed in the recent news surrounding Tristan Thompson.
Well, of course. These are like the NBA and the NBAPA anti-drug program. Why wouldn't they be supportive? They're like essentially like the same company, not actually, but like they both have NBA in their fucking titles. So of course you want them to have like the image of like, oh, both of these companies are squeaky clean and they're all supporting each other with honesty and all that other bullshit. It's like, no. The NBA wants top level athletes, and if anything, this is like probably a fucking facade. Just to be like, I don't know. It's like you both have NBA, and you're gonna tell me there's no conflict of interest. Like this company should be trying to like its damnedest to take down anybody doing PEDs, but this company wants like star athletes for the sake of like entertainment and shit, and they want it to last for the longest amount of time. So I don't know. They both have NBA in there, and I don't know. It just seems like a little conflict of interesty to me.
Program, and we are disappointed in the recent news surrounding Tristan Thompson. Yeah, super disappointed. We'll get into that. His time away from the game action will have an impact on our team. I'm not a big NBA fan, but I heard Tristan Thompson sucks. We stand behind Tristan and offer our...
Well, that's why he was taking the steroids to begin with, because his stats wasn't the best. All right, dude, give him a break. He was thinking that, oh, when I take the steroids, I'll hit more threes.
Full support through this suspension period. Going into this, I had no idea how long a 25-game suspension was in NBA terms, because...
Bro, that seems like a huge, like a long ass fucking time. Because I don't know like how many games in a season, but 25? That seems like ridiculous. That seems like a lot.
Because I didn't know how long an NBA season was, because I'm not a big NBA guy, but who knows, maybe I will be after this. But in the NBA, each team plays 82 games throughout the season. So a 25-game...
Damn, that's a quarter. He's out for a quarter.
Suspension for steroids,
wait, maybe a little more,
compounds that are banned, equals a little bit over a quarter of the season. Are you fucking kidding me? Drugs are a joke in the sport. They don't give a fuck. That is a drop in the bucket for what it should be, if they actually cared, but they don't. LeBron James has been in the NBA longer than he hasn't. Let that sink in for a second, okay?
Oh, shit. Really? Bro, that's crazy. LeBron James has been playing in the NBA longer than he's been alive. Well, not longer than he's been alive, but longer than he hasn't been. That's crazy, dude. And like LeBron is like arguably one of the top boys in basketball, and you think he's natural? There's no shot, dude. If anything, he's got like some theoretical steroid, like what do they call it? Like some luxury steroid maker that has like an in guy on like the NBA PA drug guy. Like he knows the list, and then he knows how to get around all the tests with all the luxury steroids. It's like, okay, just take this steroid, and then when you go do the test, it won't even get popped. So of course he's probably gonna have something like that, dude.
Okay, you think these guys just get faster, bigger, and stronger as the years go on? Hello?
No.
Wake up. No, they're all juicing.
Yeah, but Philly, LeBron James is a genetic phenom, and he's one of
7 billion. No, sorry. Like, all of these can be true, but he has, guess what, buddy? He's also on steroids. Thompson is set to sit out of the first of his 25 games Wednesday in Milwaukee, where Cleveland will face the Bucks twice in a 3-night span. The 6'9" veteran can return March 16th for a road game at the Houston Rockets. Yeah, see you in March, buddy. That's not even 2 months. That's 8 weeks. Just a slap on the fucking wrist. What a joke of a sport, dude. Are you kidding me? I'd put it all on the line for a couple mil. Just get popped for 8 weeks. I could use a vacation. Yeah, it's not paid, but who gives a fuck when you're a millionaire? Read this, ready?
Yeah.
Tristan embodies every trait we want as part of our team culture.
I don't think so, dude. That's a bunch of bullshit.
He's a drug addict, and we couldn't
be
more excited to bring his experience and character back into our franchise.
What? They just like gloss over the thing. They gloss over the part where he gets popped. Embodies every trait we want as a part of our team culture, and we could be more excited to bring these experienced character. But it's like they don't even acknowledge that he got popped, and they're just like they're already like on the back half. I guess that's like PR speech essentially. We're super excited for him to come back, and we're ready to execute the game plans and all this other shit like PR speak. Oh my god.
His impact both on and off the court is immeasurable, and his history with our team adds a layer of familiarity.
Bro, like a layer of familiarity. Familiar with what? Drugs and steroids?
Leadership and physicality that will undoubtedly make a positive impact with our younger players.
Oh, hopefully the younger players aren't doing the steroids too.
Let's set a great example by banning him for 8 weeks for steroids or drugs or doping in our sport, which is a no-no. Get ready for this. My favorite part of the article states, suspensions related to PEDs have been relatively rare in the NBA.
Oh, dang, and they're rare? So that means the NBA players are just all fucking like hopped up on the juice, on the Sazul.
Tuesday, the only such league action over the past 4 years involved former New Orleans Pelicans wing Didi Lozada. In 2019, a trio of more prominent names, DeAndre Ayton, John Collins, and Wilson Chandler, received 25-game bans. Essentially, failing a drug test in the NBA is a IQ test. You have to be dumb to fail this shit.
Damn.
There's many ways you can beat this IQ test of a drug test. You can be microdosing. You can be using designer drugs that don't even show up on the tests
That designer drugs, that was the word. Would I say luxury drugs? Yeah.
at all because they don't know what to test for. Or you could be using diuretic agents to piss it all out and get it out of your system. Or you can hire a night nurse and she could run some bloods on you and flush it out lickety split so you're good to go in your next game. If
Yeah.
you're still unsure.
When it comes to the world of cheating is not so much of a yes or no dichotomy type of concept as much as you would like it to be. Like in an ideal world, like I said before, everybody's natural and so on and so forth, but like what about everything that's not on the list? So, what about things that like help you focus? What about caffeine? Doesn't caffeine like amp you up a little bit and hype you up? You're normally not like amped up or whatever. Or like you get like maybe the jitters or whatever you want to call it, however you respond to caffeine, but caffeine does help you focus. Same thing with L-theanine. If you're a little more on the energetic side, then take some L-theanine to calm you down and focus. And then what about nicotine? Not so much like in cigarette form, but you could take like nicotine tablets. That shit helps you focus. What about all these like other things that like was it like holistic supplements that tout, oh, take this and it'll help your performance in this way. Well, those aren't cheating because those are holistic and natural. Like, are you sure? What about like blood doping? Like when you get a blood transfusion, is that natural? Or whenever those what was it? Those like altitude trainer guys go and sleep in the little chambers at the top of a mountain because the atmosphere is just thinner in regards to like the oxygen. So when you sleep in like an area with with lower oxygen, your body just produces more red blood cells. And so when you have more red blood cells, you can carry more oxygen to the tissues that need it whenever you start doing shit. So you sleep in I forgot the name of that little like tube you sleep in. What about that? Is that natural? Oh, it's natural for the people that live on top of mountains, but not so much for the people that don't live on top of mountains. So it's like, yes, in an ideal world, I would rather have like less people doing PEDs, but it's so hard to figure out like where to draw the line of performance enhancing drugs, performance enhancing foods, and so on and so forth. So, in performance enhancing activities, like I don't know, dude, but it's more of a gradient than it is a yes or no type of deal.
if money is doing all the talking here in the NBA when it comes to steroids, from 1983 to 1999, not a single player tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Now, what do you make of that? You think all these players are operating out of the goodness of their heart and are competing fairly for the spirit of the game? Yeah, okay. You have
No.
to be an idiot to not realize...
No, there's millions of dollars on the line, and whenever you go into the NBA, you're probably like just like a really good like a high school player, you were a really good college player, and whatever place you came from, you're probably coming from like some average like income neighborhood. And then when I would imagine the first time you get that big ass paycheck, you're like, there's no fucking shot I'm going back to living like a fucking poor brokey. I'll do whatever it takes to stay in the NBA for the longest amount of time. All right? That's probably what's going through some of these people's heads, to be fair. And I get it. I mean, shit, if I was a fucking athlete, I wouldn't want to go back to like being a like some middle age, or not middle age, but like some middle income whatever place or whatever, trying to work at McDonald's, Walmart, trying to sell mattresses at Mattress Firm or some shit. Maybe have like a lawn care company. It's like it's either that or be in the NBA for like a couple mil. Yeah, I'm choosing the NBA all day for the longest amount of time that I can milk it.
that they're all juicing.
Well, actually, I don't think steroids would have...
I don't know why I said like Mattress Firm. It's purely because he said that fucking mattress ad earlier. So it's just in my head.
That much of an impact in a skill-based game, then why are all the top basketball players getting jacked out of their fucking...
Oh, Jesus. Is this it? Oh, this is addressing the comments I said before. Look at this dude. He had like his second or third growth spurt. Like the shoulders, the arms. It just everything is... I mean, did he gain a little bit of height? Maybe a little bit of height. I don't know. Or maybe that's just the hair. I don't know. But his arms are definitely like... He definitely has like more muscle.
Mind. Hello? Look at basketball players today versus 50 years ago, and don't tell me it's technology and nutrition. You're telling me squaring up in the paint and boxing somebody out, strength doesn't matter? You're telling me when you have to dunk and put your nuts on somebody's face, being physically stronger and bigger and more dense than them isn't going to have an impact? You're telling me when you scrap and throw elbows and push into people and have to recover at 5 times the speed of a normal human being.
What's that saying? No blood, no foul. So anything up until that point is like, you better be fucking hands of steel.
Steroids aren't going to help you. You're lost. You're lost, buddy. Hello. The reason why I'm
I think I was pretty lost.
Passionate about this is because nobody talks about steroids in the NBA like they do in other sports. There's 2 options.
Yeah, so like baseball had those couple years of like the home run things with like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and like all those other guys. And it's understandable to like take steroids in that respect, because like if you got more muscle, you can hit a home run easier. That makes sense. What else? There was the Tour de France thing with the bicycling with the Lance Armstrong dude. He was accused of taking steroids, and then he was like, "Oh, it's not just me. I'm just the only one that got caught. Everyone else is doing it, bitches." What else? Like that, and you're like chugging along on a bike for like long amounts of time, so it's kind of understandable to have like certain types of PEDs to help with like muscle endurance. So I get that. What else? Football, yeah, it's understandable. There's a lot of pushing, tackling, running. It's very physical, a very contact heavy sport. Hockey, I would imagine it's the same thing. But when it comes to like some of the more technical sports, like such as NBA, I mean, I kind of get it, like how he was saying, and plus with that like little picture comparison, it kind of persuaded me a little bit more. With the having to be like very physical in basketball, but I would still say like the more technical the sport, or you know what I mean, the less likely it would be prone to it's like steroid abuse, and more I would say more prone to stimulant abuse. Like what's that fucking like ADHD medicine or whatever? It's like Vyvanse, Adderall, some and other shit that just helps you focus. You know, like darts or something. You know, 180, boom, and all that shit. So, I mean, and even golf. I mean, are there steroid abusers in golf? I would maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I could kind of see it helping with golf. Like you got a little bit more muscle. You don't need much. I mean, it's still you need like a way more technique in like your swing and whatnot to drive the ball. But after that, like just literally off the drive. But then after that, I would say it's more technique and focus. So I'm pretty sure you could like do like a little breakdown of like 2 bars, like how technical a sport is versus how like physically, like how physical you have to be with the sport.
Steroids should be legal in all sports. This way, we find out what the competition really is, except
Oh.
that can't exist because that's already happening. Or you just have people take
Oh,
the
true.
fall for something every couple of years, like Tristan Thompson. And then we live in this hypocrisy, this society, this post-truth era, where we're just gonna sit here like sheep and be like, well, yeah, you know, there's a couple bad apples. The reason why it's not a bigger deal is because there is so much goddamn fucking money on the line in the NBA. And little
Yeah.
Johnny can't really fathom the fact that his favorite superstars have to use drugs to get to where they are. It is asinine to believe that you can push the body to the brink of exhaustion forever, get stronger, bigger, faster as you age, as your testosterone starts declining. It makes zero sense because it's not possible. If you look at
True.
sports as a whole, every single record is getting routinely beaten and smashed.
That is a really good point, dude. It's not like records are withstanding the test of time longer and longer. But when he just says it like that, it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, and yeah, you could kind of credit it to like improved diet, improved technology, improved training techniques, and so on and so forth. I mean, but to some degree, it's like how much of it is that versus how much of it is like just raw designer steroids helping you out a little bit. That is a good question.
What do you think? It's because we eat more? You think it's because we go night-night? I'm going to leave you with this. In 2011, Derrick Rose said in an interview that PEDs are a huge problem, and I think we need to level the playing field. So this actually coincides with the previous article where they talk about the various players that were popped in 2019 or 4 to 5 years ago for growth hormone releasing peptide number 2. Out of all professional sports, the NBA has had the smallest number of players tested positive for banned substances.
The smallest number of players tested positive for banned substances. So to me, that literally just says their testing procedures aren't sophisticated enough, or they are purposely misrepresenting the actual results of the tests for the sake of like entertainment and having to have like star players and teams like just perform at a higher level more consistently. So I think they're like purposely they're just purposely not popping anybody.
Do these recent positives mean players are doping more, or are they just getting caught? In 2011, Derrick Rose gave an interview to ESPN, the magazine, and he was asked if 1 equals what are PEDs and 10 equals everybody's juicing, how big of an issue is illegal enhancing in your sport? And he said 7. It's huge, and I think we need to level the playing field, where nobody has that advantage over the next person.
God dang.
Rose would later deny the quote and say he doesn't remember ever being asked or answering the question.
Probably because he got like a phone call or some shit and be like, bro, you cannot sabotage the league like that with your dumbass fucking opinions on the league and what about goings on of the league. We're about to off you unless you say some shit to like correct yourself. He probably got a call something like that, dude.
In the same denial, he said he probably misunderstood the question. Enough said. Yeah, I never said that. That's fake. The
Dang. That's some pussy ass shit right there. But then again, if somebody's threatening your life or your family or your friends, it's like, what are you going to do?
audacity just to pretend that that never happened. It's documented in an interview. He was asked that question and gave an answer, and then later turned around and said, nope, never said that. I must have misunderstood. The dude gave a fucking numerical value.
Yeah.
7. He knew the scale. He knew the fucking vibes. He isn't the only significant NBA personality that spoke up about this. One of the reasons George Karl doesn't get as much love in NBA circles is this quote from his book, Furious George. My 40 years surviving NBA divas, clueless GMs, and poor shot selection. We've got a more thorough drug testing program than the NFL or MLB, which we...
I don't know, that kind of, press X to doubt that first little part of that sentence. But then again, this is probably like in what, 2011 or whatever. So this is probably around the same time with like the home run bros hitting all the whammies. Or what was that? The Simpsons thing? You guys want to see me hit some was it whammies? I forgot. I think it was whammies.
We always brag about, but we've still got a drug issue, though a different one than 30 years ago. And this one bothers me more than the dumbasses who got in trouble with recreational drugs.
Good.
I'm talking about performance-enhancing drugs like steroids, human growth hormone, and so on. It's obvious some of our players are doping. How are some guys getting older, yet thinner and fitter? How are they recovering from injuries so fast? Why the hell are they going to Germany in the off-season? I doubt it's for the sauerkraut. More likely, it's for the newest, hard-to-detect blood boosters and PEDs they have in Europe. Unfortunately, drug testing always seems to be a couple steps behind drug hiding. Lance Armstrong never failed a drug test. I think we want the best athletes to succeed, not the biggest, richest cheaters employing the best scientists.
Oh my god. Bro, sports is literally fucking pay to win. That's so sad. When like this sentence alone just made me think about that. I think we want the best athletes to succeed, not the biggest, richest cheaters employing the best scientists. If that isn't a fucking goddamn other side of the coin type of deal with like video games, like goddamn, that's so sad. Like actual sports is pay to win, bro. That kind of makes me even less of like, makes me want to watch sports even less. Jeez. Whatever, man. Let's just keep going. We're almost done.
But I don't know what to do about it. Former players have said that 4 tests a year are easily manipulated and nowhere near to present real control and oversight. I don't have a problem with players using PEDs in recovery or to make it through the 82-game season. Some may. As I see it, the NBA has 2 choices. Either keep them banned and implement a serious testing and control system, or stop the charade and let players use PEDs.
Yeah, that has to be like the thing, dude. Because what would like how would society view that if like all the sports leagues came together and be like, guys, we just gotta let the players do drugs or do PEDs, all right? When we do that, everybody will not see it as cheating because everybody's doing it. It can't possibly be cheating if everybody's doing it. Then it becomes a skill issue of getting the right PEDs for your body for the best performance. So it's another skill level, I guess, in terms of nutrition and supplementation. I guess. Like, how do you think would society, or at least would view that? Like, if all the leagues of, you know, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, whatever. Bro, it'd be so funny if like the big sports leagues did it, but then some wouldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying. Given the fact with how tall some of these players are and how large their frames are, if you're a taller person, then you may know how hard it is to actually fill out your frame, yet basketball players are doing it better than bodybuilders? On paper, filling out a 6'9" frame is near impossible with quality muscle mass unless you've been lifting and eating like a goddamn superhuman since you were a kid.
Dang.
And yes, maybe there's a couple of those people that exist,
Yeah.
but I don't believe it when it comes to the NBA. I simply don't. Whenever I catch an NBA game, I can't help but notice the cannonballs of shoulders that some of these guys have.
Well, actually, you get that from shooting a basketball.
Some of you are retarded, okay? Yeah, you're probably right. Everyone else got it wrong. Fuck a military press. Why don't I just shoot a basketball 50,000 times and my traps will connect to my earlobes because, basketball is an anabolic sport, apparently.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so funny, dude. Oh, well, bro, this is like a really good video. And this is like really revealing to me because now I will watch NBA even less than I do right now, which was 0 to begin with. So, hey, bro, that was a good ass video, dude. And that whole pay to win sentence that dude said, it's like, damn, that's like some fucking like mind explosion shit right there. But yeah, I mean, I've been watching Philly for like years, dude. He's got a bunch of great shit. But yeah, this is a banger, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. But I'm looking forward to the next one. And till next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.